Hi and welcome to Made of Yarn podcast. My name is Lotte. I'm coming from Sweden. This is episode 35 and it's mostly about knitting but some crochet also. You are so welcome. Some of you are perhaps new, so who am I? What am I talking about? Well, knitting of course and yarns and so on. I started this podcast about 2.5 years ago now. I have it both in Swedish and in English. The first episode was about the benefits from this craft work that it is with knitting and crochet when you have, as I have, chronic illness, or when you have a burnout, when you are sick, and so on and so on. I know for sure that you heard about it before, that it's good for us, for the brain, for the blood pressure and so on. I started with that, but then I just continued to show what I was knitting on. Also, for some years I have been test knitter for many designers, both here in Sweden and also out in the world. One of them I will talk a little bit extra about quite soon, and that's Tracie Millar from the podcast Grocery Girls. I will show you soon 12 pair of socks that I made again last year. I made one almost every month, but my goal was to make 12 pairs, new ones, because she's actually one of my favorite designers. She mostly have sock patterns, but it's shawls, cowls, hats, mittens, but they are so well written. I will talk about that soon. But also that I test knitted for many others also. But perhaps should I talk about what am I wearing? This is a kind of made up thing from shawl, scarf. I don't know what it's really called in English. The pattern is from beginning a blanket, a free pattern in many languages. I will link everything down here also, but it's called Angulus, and I made a big blanket for my son-in-law last year and loved that pattern so much. So one idea was to, why not make it a shawl kind of. So I did, but it was a little bit too short, but it fills its purpose, doesn't it? And the yarn is a 2-plied from the Swedish brand Järbo. I have different colors in it. I was actually gifted yarn because many of us podcasters here in Sweden get yarn and the free patterns now and then over the years. And this should be a mitten made in December, but I had ache in my hands. I couldn't make this color work mitten, so I crocheted a shawl for me instead. But it's a little bit too warm inside. And what I'm wearing under here, you can't really see, but it's really short, and that wasn't the purpose from the beginning. It's a pattern from a Swedish designer, Emilia Jensen. I will just open it because it doesn't have any buttons. Oops, it's a needle. So it's like this. So my plan was, it's called rag cardigan, and I wonder if I have it inside out because it's the same. and you have a I-cord edge here. My plan was to make it as long as the yarn, my leftover yarns I had before they ended. But I started this a year ago, December 2023, when my husband was with his brother on the island Tenerife. And I thought, if I knit this every day, perhaps I have it finished when he come home. But it was a little bit too much work. And then I put it away, so it was in a wardrobe a whole year. I took it out in December. I thought I had to go through my WIPs, my UFOs, and check if I should continue or throw them away or frog them. I was almost near to frog this one, but come to think, why not just bind off where I was and have it as instead of a shawl when I'm knitting in the living room, or when I'm sitting on the bed and knitting and I'm cold and don't want to have a whole sweater. And actually it's perfect. It's really perfect. And why I have this pin on, it gets a little bit warmer because it's not flattering, because it's really wide back, but doesn't matter when I'm sitting down. So this is the Rag Rug cardigan, a really short version. And why it's called Rag Rug, when you take the whatever yarn you have, this is 3 or 4 plies of different Holst yarns. It's both this super soft, it's coast, and also Tides, whatever I had actually. And I even though it's not, I don't like when it's cropped, but I really like it because it really feels its purpose, and I'm glad for that. That's what I was wearing. Should I perhaps talk about the socks now that I made last year? I hope I wrote down the right name on the socks. Here is the socks I made 2024, patterns by Tracie Millar. So I have my notes here and I will start up here in the corner here. And this is the Georgia socks. A short pair made in fingering yarns. It's one, the more colorful one is Opal Van Gogh, one of them from that series. Some of you perhaps have seen many of this. I've shown them before, not everyone. So I'm sorry if you have to watch it again, because I showed some of them in, was it October or November? I can't remember now, when Pia Trans in Denmark had her knitathon. So it was a good idea to show some socks. So, but you haven't watched everyone. If you saw that, you haven't. This one is one of my really favorite. I don't know how many I made. This is the Shepherdess socks. It's in a Finnish wool, Novita Nalle, and the pattern says fingering yarn, but Nalle is, I forgot again to grab a yarn to show you. It says DK, but it's more like it's 260 meters on it, and it's quite thin. Sorry, I have some yarn here. But for me, it's it fits perfectly. The fabric gets more dense and warmer, but it acts like a fingering sock anyway, for me at least. So that was the shepherdess socks. Then the next pair is Skywalker socks. Also in a thinner DK yarn, but it's a Swedish yarn, Järbo mellanraggi. I don't know. In the camera for me, my phone, it seems really dark. So I don't know how you can see that. I have a lamp, but it's perhaps on the wrong place. But it was the Skywalker socks. Another favorite of mine is, put the notes there, is the goat eyes socks. Also in the Finnish wool yarn Novita Nalle. Don't know if you can see the pattern. I have sock blockers 1 meter. I can see them, but I can't grab them. If I go up, everything will fall apart around me. Goat eyes socks. I made a couple of these before also. Then I made actually 2 pairs of the same pattern. It's the Happy Place socks. So here you have one of them. I made several of these also. One of my daughters have. Also in some nice pastel colors. Can you see them? Or should I do like this? Happy Place socks. A nice pattern for whatever you have. You can make the stripes as you like. Happy Place socks. That was the first 6 pairs, and then I had to, yes, here you have the On the Porch socks, and that's a free pattern also, so you can check them out. Also in Novita Nalle. The first pair I made when I test knitted them, that was in the Norwegian yarn Rauma Gammel-serien. That's just hard twisted 100% wool, but they didn't last long on my feet. So now I have this a little bit thicker yarn and more dense fabric. I can't wait to start now to use these socks. They have been waiting in this box a whole year, some of them. Then I have Saturday socks. They are made in Novita Wool Rescue. It's a DK, for DK yarn. First, when I saw this pattern, I thought it was one of the ones. I have every pattern from, I think, from Tracie. I haven't test knitted, perhaps 98% I have test knitted. So I thought, if this one was perhaps one of those I didn't test knit, but I have made them, but I gave them away directly, so that's why I forgot about them. But really, really a nice pattern also. You can see on the socks that they are kind of delicate, a delicate pattern, but they're never hard to knit. This is the Galliano socks that I made a little bit different. Also, I have a fingering yarn, but I also take one strand of fluff. I think it's Drops Kid Silk mohair in it. It's so soft. The yarn under the stripe one is Järbo Junior Raggi here from Sweden. So Galliano socks. The first pair I made, I know they were red, and I gave them away to a friend of my daughter's. So I never wore them myself. But this pair I will. I hope perhaps my daughters take them. We have the same size, all of us. Here are one of the newer ones then. This is Sienna socks. Also in a lighter DK, Järbo mellan Raggi. In a striped one. And the last is then Sweet and Tartan socks. Can you see? I don't know if you can see them well. I made them a little bit shorter. You have two, what is it called? You can make a longer cuff and a shorter, and I made the shorter one. And this is both in Novita Nalle, and the green-blue stripy one is Järbo mellan Raggi. So, here is my little treasure box of Tracie socks that I made. And this is just 12. She has so many more. So I will continue, not perhaps make one every month, but I will continue to make socks from my library with her patterns. Because it's good to have. You should see my socks that I have now. You shouldn't see them because I mended them so many times. I wear them until they almost fall off my feet. Talking about where is my? I know I have. Sorry, I have to check. Where is it? Here, sorry. I'm still here. I'm knitting on a sock also now, but I forgot to check it's wave ride or something. I will link it down here also. It's a free pattern. It's a Swedish podcaster, just in Swedish, Östergårdarna something, Amelie. She made for this year, for everyone who wants to participate, Free Sock 2025. So every month she will put out a pattern for us to use. And this is from a Finnish designer. As I said, I will link it down here. I haven't blocked them, so they are not that nice to look at. But it will be a braid in the back. In the pattern, it will be a longer, so it goes up on the calves. But I was happy just to have like an ordinary length on my. And then you have a lace pattern here in the front. One idea why I didn't wanted to make them longer, because when it's lace you have hole in them, and here in Sweden it's cold in the winter. Even though you have them longer up on your legs, you will freeze in the holes. Perhaps not. Perhaps it's just in my head, but I will continue just to make them like this, and I will soon start on the heel on the second one, and perhaps tomorrow I finish them, so I can start with something else. I forgot actually to bring quite a lot here. I didn't know where I should sit and podcast. This is usually my podcasting room, but my husband is home today. It's Sunday, even though it's Monday, and and he wanted to sit in the living room outside. And I feel a little bit ashamed that someone should hear me. So I brought everything I thought in here, but I didn't. I forgot quite a lot. For example, also we have moved rooms. I don't know the name, how you say it. Moved around furniture. I'm looking up if I can see a notebook. I lost totally a notebook because in December I had made like a guessing game for my Swedish viewers and also for you, how much in kilograms that I knitted last year. I remember the number, but then I also wanted just to tell you, not to show everything that I made last year. It's enough podcasters who are showing their knits, but just tell how much of this and that. But I can't find it. It's totally away. But the number, I knitted little bit more than 20 kilograms. I don't know if it's the double amount in pound or whatever. I didn't check that out. But I know it was a Swedish viewer. She guessed on 18 kilograms, so she is the one closest. It was two who were guessing here on the English podcast. One I remember was 2 kilograms and the other much more. So no one here was the closest, but thank you for participating. That was fun. I made also a gift for one of my daughter's sister-in-laws. You can see it here. I bought last year from Novita in Finland a package with Moomin, Moomin pattern. I mean, it's a hat. I will show you. I made it. It's in a Moomin yarn. It's a little bit fun. I had it on the. I'm pointing on it, and I can't say the word. I will put it out here. In Swedish, element, so to dry it, but it gets folded there. But you can see, hopefully, can you see that it's a Moomin here? She loves Moomin, that girl. And in here you have also a Moomin card also. So that will be a gift I will send. I made also for my son-in-law, the brother of her, a sweater, but they were here a week ago. But I forgot totally to photograph it, to take any photos of him because when he tried it here and it was too short, and then I wet it again and blocked it harder, and if that was enough, then he could wear it. Otherwise, I will just continue on the ribbing down there. But he took it home, and now they are 6. So I have no photo of it. It's called Bönan, bean, and it's a cable, all over a cable sweater. But I made the sleeves just straight, with no cables on it. So I can talk about what I did, and also, but I'm not sure it. And one sweater I would like to show that I forgot, and it's in the bedroom where my husband is right now. But I can show it perhaps in the next episode when it's finished. I just have one arm left, and it's also a cable, a bigger, a little bit oversized sweater for my daughter Amanda. I had to check my notes. Yeah, I forgot another thing also. Amanda wanted a kind of shawl, but also with a hoodie. So I just made one in black. just I started with 10 stitches and just increased on one end. So every fourth row I increased until I had 65 stitches. I made it with needles 5, but it was a 2-plied yarn. It was Tines yarn. It kind of Holst or whatever. No, not Holst. I mean Roma Finor. Sorry. So it was a little bit a looser fabric. So it was almost 1 meter in the end. Then I just knitted straight for 42-43 centimeters, and then can you see me? It was from the little beginning, and then until it was like this. Knitted it straight, just garter stitch. Then I decreased until I had 10 left. Perhaps you can start with 3 or 4 stitches. My plan was first, I thought she wanted some tassels or something that I should have there, but she didn't want it. And then here, when you the head part, I sew together just on one end, and that is in the neck then. And that's a hoodie, and then you can just throw the other one around you. I hope you understand, but it was quite easy to make it. I have to send that also, but now she's 6, but she doesn't use hats. I made many shawls, but she wanted like a hoodie, and I did it. Another thing I'm making now, one I made, but I haven't made any buttons on it. It's a baby cardigan for a friend of us, friends of us that got a baby girl. And this is the pattern Stonewood cardigan or Stonewood mini cardigan, something. I didn't write it up. From Skein. You can see the back. And this is a pattern I made actually quite a lot. I will show you. This is then the baby pattern. I can start with the one I started first, the adult version. And that's here you can see. I made this one in Alafos Loopy, Eastex Alafos Loopy. And this is a long version. I made this exactly 5 years ago. Perhaps I can put in a photo so you can see the whole picture. About a year ago, I hadn't used this one for a couple of years. I've gained some more weight. So I felt like didn't feel that good. So when I will turn it around, I made it in a podcast that I sticked it. I didn't have any leftovers from these colors, but I have had a let loopy that I had held double. So I sticked it. I haven't put any buttons on it, and I had to do it now because now it started to get really cold here in Sweden. Well, I love it. When I also after that made a shorter version, the right version is a sweater. I made this just longer, so I made one for my one of my nieces, Angelica. Then my daughter Lovisa saw it and also wanted one, and I got this back. I don't know if you can see the pattern, but because it's not any, she wanted gray and pink. I don't know. Can you see it at all? It's the same pattern, I promise. I don't know. I got it back because she can't have it anymore, so I will give it to someone else. I made this one in, it's a merino wool, volevo soft merino, I think. And the pink one is Drops Lima. After that, I made a baby cardigan also for one of my, for a friend, for my daughter's friend. And then I made this one, and we are waiting on another couple that we know are expecting, so they will have a son in the end of January or February, beginning of February. So I'm making a boy version of it also. This yarn was, as the white here, it's Drops Merino Extra Fine, and here it was kind of some thinner merino. Here is 2 plies of Drops Holst super soft. That's what I am knitting on right now, and the socks and some more. I just had to check here also now, so I don't forget anything. Another thing, I haven't started it yet, but I told you that now and then over the year we get yarns and patterns and so on from the company's Edna, but then they have Järbo, the branch Järbo, and then Svarta Fåret. So this is Svarta Fåret. I will see if I can show you. I will take can you see here some of them? This will be a temperature blanket. They asked if I wanted to participate in that this year, and that's a free pattern also on their website. You can either knit them or crochet them, and I haven't decided because I think I will crochet them actually. And then you make squares for every week, so seven different, perhaps different, depend on the of course on the temperature. And then in between you have stripes with a contrasting color then, and then you put them together as soon as you can, and you have 52 squares, I guess, in the end. And I haven't decided yet, but I think I know I will make them from year 1990, when my first child was born, my oldest son Hampus, as a little bit surprise. I said to my Swedish viewers, but this year in June, me and my husband have been married 40 years actually, and we always have a party with our children, and we give each other gifts and so on, and not just me and Pio who gets it, also the children give each other and we give them and so on. And I hope will finish it until June 21st to get that one, to give that one to Hampus. I hope that I can do it, because it takes time to make these big blankets. I made a couple of blankets, temperature blankets. One is I made one row for each day. Of course, I made these granny squares, and they became really, really big. So 12 of them for every month. So 12. So I have them over our I don't know if you call it king size bed or whatever you call it, but it's almost enough, just not where we have our pillows. You can't reach up there. I'm so sorry for my bad English today. I hope I understand anyway. Well, that's a little bit of what I have made, plans. I don't do many talk about, here in Sweden at least, about making 9, they decide on 9 projects they would like to do. I can't do that, because as soon as I write it up, tell about it, no, I can't do them anymore. I don't know what happened inside here. So I will finish. My plans is to finish, because one thing I forgot to bring here is a cardigan I started. It was a test knit for Hohi Locatelle. She know that I didn't finish it. It was okay, because I wasn't well that summer. Almost 2 years, 1.5 years ago, I started, and it's a cable, and it's so beautiful. So I just made about this in the back and half the front here. So I have all the rest still. But I always, for a long time, wanted a cabled cardigan, so I will not forget. I will continue to do it. So that's also, I will not make anything new for myself until I finish that one. And also another one. Oh, when you dig inside your head and your wardrobe, you can find a lot of things you're ashamed of that you don't finish. Because my children, when they want to have something, I drop everything and say, of course you will get something, and I start to make something for them. So I started also something for my daughter Lovisa that I have in the living room. If you can see here, see something yellow and you see something blue there, it's a alpaca yarn brushed Viking alpaca Maya, something like that. And I also have a pink, so it would be a striped something. A sweater. She wanted a yoke sweater, not with raglan increases. Someday you will see it, hopefully. Thank you so much for visiting me, for taking your time and sit here and, as I said the last time, to listen to Swinglish. I don't talk English in between the episodes. I listen to English on television and so on, but no, I don't talk it. But I hope you understand it anyway. I wish you the best and hope to see you then in February. Bye.